It doesn't matter what you think about Jesus. Homie is the most popular, famous dude of all time. Now, why did that happen? You have to give credit to the fact that that's happened. It's 2025. The calendar is named after Jesus, basically. It's 2025 years since what? Since my man Jesus. So even if you're a materialist and don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God, that he rose from the dead, that he performed any miracles or anything like that, that he was just a basic dude just like you and I, something happened, something about that impacted the world enough where 2,000 years later I can be like, oh, Jesus, don't even have to say his last name. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, the man, the myth, the legend, the real deal. Talking about Jesus. And everyone on the planet agrees that the day is February 20th, whatever it is, 2025. 2025 years since Jesus. Okay, so at the very least, something very impactful happened. And so that says something about humanity. Even if you don't believe, even if, like Christians do, you have to acknowledge that. And that's worth thinking about. That's worth considering. Some people would say, oh, it's just the hero's journey. He's the hero story, the myth of the times. But even then, like, doesn't really bring any more clarity to the situation. Anyway, so Jesus is worth considering, no matter what, no matter who you are, or what you say, or what you think you say, you think you believe. Jesus is worth considering. So consider Jesus. Now, he was a man that a lot of people think was a super duper pacifist. And a lot of people who follow Jesus now think that they should be perpetual pacifists, or at least they act like it. A lot of two of the most misconstrued verses or things Jesus said is one, to turn the other cheek. Now that's been taken to just be like, oh, don't react, don't retaliate, don't do tooth for a tooth or eye for an eye, don't respond, be a bitch, basically. That's not what that means. Jesus was a practical dude. In one of the Gospels, I forget which one it was Matthew, Mark, he says, he was talking about if you're going to build like a house or something, you should get some estimates before to see if you're going to be able to afford it. Because if you start to build a house, and I'm paraphrasing here, and you don't succeed in building it, and you're going to look like an idiot. Likewise, if you are a king and you're going to go to war and you don't have enough guys who think you're going to lose, then you should send an emissary to sue for peace. That's very practical. Jesus was very practical. Turning the other cheek is not about laying down and being a passive beta male. It's meant to undermine. Like if someone slaps you in the face, like, oh, it didn't hurt. Hit my other side. Do it again. Backhand me. Turn the other cheek. Jesus, he was a dude. He was a real guy. He was practical. And furthermore, he was talking to Jews who were very much second-class citizens or whatever, and they had a very strict culture. I mean, look what they did to Jesus, and in a society that was extraordinarily strict and oppressive as well. I mean, these Jews didn't have the same rights as a Roman citizen. So turn the other cheek was how to exist, how to gain some power back as an individual when you're being mistreated, slapped by a Roman who just thinks he can slap you around because you're a Jew. And you undermine this Roman by being like, oh, do it again. Didn't hurt. And I've also read theories about how it's like to backhand or something, like turn the other cheek is to open your cheek to make them backhand you, which is something that was disrespectful to them or something like that. But anyway, it was not about being a weakling. It was about undermining. And then another one is people say the meek shall inherit the earth. I'm going to sneeze. Jesus bless me. I'm not cutting this out. And another one is the meek shall inherit the earth. And people think that means, oh, again, to be a beta male. It's not what it means. If you look into what that word actually means, it means to have like constrained strength. Aristotle used the same word in the book of Nicomedes or something. Google it. The word is prates, whatever. It's a Greek word. And it means, and they has this connection to like war horses, like wild horses that have been trained, broken, and had their energies focused. It means to be constrained. It means to be wise in terms of how to deal with anger. It doesn't mean to just be gentle. Again, Jesus was pragmatic. He was practical. I mean, all this stuff it's practical. It's not just about laying down and being a weakling. Because it's like, if you're going to be a pacifist always, like you have kids and someone's going to harm your kids and you're not going to do anything, you're a bad parent. Like, you shouldn't have kids. So there we are. Follow Jesus, be very practical. Onward and upwards.